So, when I decided to do this vlog for this week, one of the things that I wanted to do, of course, was start actually doing these like weekly vlogs and things like that. Because one of the biggest questions that I normally get asked is, how is it that you do kind of all things that you get done in a week? But also, this has been like the busiest week ever.
It's Monday morning, which means that I'm going live on TikTok. This morning, I decided to make a pair of jeans that were in testing, and I love the pattern, super easy to go through. I didn't finish it on live because I did have a hard stop. I've been working on only sewing for like a certain amount of time when I'm on live versus just committing to finishing the project just so that I can get back to work. This week was really busy, so it was really important for me to make sure that I did not go over on time. One of the things that I've really been working on has been eating breakfast as well as increasing my protein. I got these acai superfruit pouches from Costco. And so I use oat milk as my base, and I put in my protein, and then I go ahead and blend it up. And when I tell you guys that this is the easiest way for me to go ahead and get my protein in as well as like a pseudo healthy breakfast, this is hands down the easiest thing for me to do. You just have to squeeze it out. You like do a little bit of um, like defrosting it just so that it can come out of the package, and boom. And also this blender, this is that Beast blender. I love it. Hands down the best blender in the world. You can either pulse or leave it on, whatever it makes it easier for you. But I love it because it makes making my smoothies super fast. So after eating my breakfast, or rather drinking my breakfast, I did go ahead and get a lot of my work done. Then it was time for lunch. Again, this is something that I need to do more often. So I pre-prepped all of my food and I put it in our outside refrigerator so it didn't take up space from like where the kids' food and stuff like that was inside of the house. So today, Mondays, I try to do my heavy recording days. So I recorded two YouTube videos. Both of them went live, or one of them went live on Monday. The other one went live on Wednesday. And getting into the flow of work is something that is super important to me. I did go ahead and eat though. Like, y'all, when I tell you that eating is one of my biggest issues. So making sure that I get my meals in is something that's super important to me. And yeah, so I ate, but I did have to like run out of the house as I was eating because it was my daughter's um, award ceremony for being on honor roll.
Nicole, principals list for fall, most outstanding in ELA. Jalen Ellis.
So after her award ceremony, I did pick up the rest of the kids, and this is us getting home from carpool. Y'all, carpool is basically where I spend most of my day. Yeah, it is a lot. And then, of course, not gonna lie, when I got home on Monday, I was really tired because I'd been up and like producing content in the morning and stuff like that. So coming home and hanging out with my kids was really mellow. I definitely sat in my favorite chair in my room and did some unwinding before I was doing some reading and just kind of like relaxing. I have been reading the Sarah J. Maas Thor. What am I reading? Throne of Glass series, and yeah. So my husband was like putting away laundry while I was sitting here just trying to wrap up my work day and then sit down and do some reading before, of course, dinner.
It is Tuesday morning and 7:30 in the morning. I have been up for about 2 hours, but I'm finally leaving my bed. I find that when I have really busy creative days, it's hard for me to get up the next day. But I have another busy day today. I'm keeping my niece. Um, I am running carpool, so I'm picking up multiple children. I've got a post-op appointment for my boobies. And then I've got a meeting at a high school for my daughter, and then we record the podcast tonight. So we've got to get our day started.
First thing I do in the morning, or the last thing that I do at night, is actually plan out the day. Now, I didn't plan out my night. I didn't plan out my day last night. So I did wake up and make sure that I planned out the day so that I could just be more efficient, because having my niece meant that I wasn't going to have like super high levels of productivity, but there were still some things that I was going to be able to get done with her. And that is what I was working on that plan for. I didn't have very much time in between the time that I finished my plan and the time that my husband was going to be home with my niece. So I took a shower real quick, and then I began getting ready for the day, which of course included doing a little bit of makeup. Not too much, since I wasn't really recording today. I did record some content, but it wasn't as much of a content producing day as, say, Monday. So just getting ready for the day before my baby gets here.
Good morning. Hi, Kiana. Good morning, girlfriend. Oh.
Even though my tiny princess was here, our morning did have things for us to do. She had blocks going on in my office while I was doing some morning work, which included checking emails. I'm in the middle of also planning Atlanta Fractals, so like y'all, I have so many emails and so many things to do. So at this point in time, I was making my second cup of coffee because it was a 2 cup of coffee kind of day, as well as making my lunch for myself, as well as my niece. She ended up actually just eating my lunch because that's how kids are. What can I say?
It's a 2 coffee kind of day, sis. Yeah, girl. We having 2 cups of coffee today. That's right, girl. It's a long day. It's a long day. Yeah.
So after picking up carpool, picking my kids up, and getting to the doctor, my doctor's appointment is at 3:45. Y'all, I was sitting in the waiting room literally for 3 hours to be seen. This is me sitting there. It was probably about 6 o'clock about this point in time because the waiting room had cleared out. I was like the last patient to be seen, and I didn't mind because I really like my doctor. I really like the office. But y'all, it was late and your girl was tired. Like, my drive home was pitch black, like pitch black out here. Because I take all back roads. There are not very many streetlights, literally, not very many streetlights. But I made it home. Like right before my kids did. Today was supposed to be the day that we went and toured a high school, but I was not able to make it because I was still at the doctor. So my husband took my daughter. They took a look at the high school. It was big. They loved it, and I love that for them. It got her a little bit more excited, which I really needed. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I try to um, use my walking like desk area so that I can walk at the same time as doing a lot of admin work. So this morning I was working on finalizing my pattern pieces for an upcoming pattern test that I have, as well as working on the presentation that I had to prepare for this weekend, which was the second installment of the social media for soooo group. So I wanted to make sure that all that was done. I checked my emails, responded to emails, which is something that I'm working on doing and being more timely about, and getting in more steps. Like, one of the things that's been hard for me is getting a lot of steps in while I work from home. So, win-win for me. So also, my middle child decided that she needed a mental health day today because she was made fun of for a really great business idea that I thought that she had. So she was hanging out with me for the day. I had a nail appointment that I had to get to, and naturally she came along with me. Now, one thing about me is I do not play about my nail tech. I love her. I will never cheat on her. She is my favorite. I will never see another person. I have never actually bonded with or connected with a nail tech previously. Like, that's just not my thing. And the fact that I was able to connect with her means something to me, and we get to talking about our families, about our kids and stuff like that. So not only is it like self-care for my nails, but she's like legit a friend of mine. We talk about everything. So I showed her my design inspo for my nails. She hooked me up, and then she also did the designs on my daughter's nails. And sis needed her nails done too. She needed to be poured into because, one thing about me is I'm gonna make sure my kids feel amazing, and I'm the one who makes them feel that way because I don't want any of these dusty kids out here making them feel bad. They're always gonna get filled when they are with mommy. After we got our nails done, we did grab some lunch very quickly though, because I had an appointment and I had a meeting like literally as soon as we got back home. So I jumped into my meeting and I was taking my notes, making sure that I was clear, and yes, drinking more coffee because again, it was another 2 coffee kind of day for your girl. The meeting went fantastic and I'm super geeked about what we talked about and cannot wait for that to come out. But also immediately following that, I jumped into my podcast recording, of course, with Julian. Now, I was too tired on Tuesday night after I finally got in from the doctor for us to go ahead and record. So we opted to just record in the afternoon. Now, normally we do record at night. So this was like, I don't want to say it was weird, but it was like kind of awkward. My brother-in-law had stopped by to help get some help with his taxes and stuff like that. So whereas like Julian and I normally have some more time to kiki, we did not have the opportunity to do that. We cut it short, and honestly, not saying that I had to, but y'all already know that I had to immediately jump into carpool because I don't like to be late for my babies. So Aurora and I jumped in the car. We went and picked up her brother and sister. One time for your kids having great memories, because I gotten so caught up in my day, I forgot that I actually a I had to head back out at 6 o'clock so that I could be on time for my mentorship program. I'm a local business mentor within a group that is local to like my neighborhood area. And tonight we meet up for like 2.5 hours. And y'all, if my oldest didn't remind me, I'm not exactly sure if I would have made it, which I would have been so mad at myself about because this is something that is so fulfilling, being able to mentor smaller businesses. It is my favorite thing in the world, and I'm so happy that I was able to make it. But yeah, that was the end of my night.
So, when I decided to do this vlog for this week, one of the things that I wanted to do, of course, was start actually doing these like weekly vlogs and things like that, because one of the biggest questions that I normally get asked is, how is it that you do kind of all the things that you get done in a week? But also, this has been like the busiest week ever. It's Thursday, it's 7:25 in the morning. I'm still exhausted. I don't feel like leaving the bed right now. My laptop is downstairs, so I think I'm gonna run downstairs and do prep work. I've got a coaching session this morning with someone, and then I've got a doctor's appointment, and then I've got some free time in between the doctor's appointment and when I have to go and pick my daughter up from school. Today she gets fitted for her pointe shoes, which means that I've got to pick her up and we've got to immediately go and do that. Good morning, Milkshake. So busy day because where we live and like where she goes to school is on one side of town. Where we have to go and do this fitting is like completely opposite side of town. And then we have to drive back. So I'm anticipating lots of traffic. I also have not been drinking nearly enough water. So we got to do better.
Listen, I want y'all to know that getting dressed this morning was so hard because I was like, I don't want to be dressed because all I want to do is be in my bed. But I did get up. I had to clean up the kitchen from lunches. I am happy that like my husband does leave these things out. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but sometimes I feel like I don't do enough in our house. So when he leaves it out, I do go downstairs and clean up the kitchen first, and then I make my coffee. And I like being able to do that. I know that's a weird thing, but it's fine. Um, but it was definitely another 2 coffee day. Normally, I only have 1 cup of coffee, but your girl has been needed 2 cups of coffee. And then I immediately jumped into my call with my coaching client. Now, this coaching client is kind of like at a crux, and so we were trying to figure out ways that she could make money before she went ahead and ultimately closed some things out for her business. We talked a lot about her marketing strategies, a lot about some things that I thought that she could be doing differently. She was really open, really receptive, and I'm very, very happy for that because one, I think that her business is super viable and it's something that many people could take advantage of. And, I just want to help her to be able to do that. So I feel like our coaching call was really successful. Y'all, the rain was raining as I headed to and from my doctor's appointment. But listen, I have some really great news. I've always been kind of borderline pre-diabetic and not, but I lowered my A1C on my own 2 points, which takes me out of being pre-diabetic. So your girl is super proud of herself. So I came back and of course I celebrated by eating my healthy lunch and having another cup of coffee. It doesn't get any better than that. But I did not have a lot of time to sit at home and catch up on any emails and things like that because I had to run out and go pick my daughter up. Now, where she had her point shoe fitting was that right across the street from a Trader Joe's. And y'all, when I tell you I was geeked about that because your girl loves her some Trader Joe's because we don't really live close to Trader Joe's. So I definitely went and headed out and enjoyed a little bit of Trader Joe's action before we went and got fitted for her shoes. The fitting process was something I didn't know what to expect. Y'all, they really do a lot for these fittings and to make sure that they fit their feet the right way, which I'm really happy about because I've seen some wobbly dancers on their point shoes, and I did not want that to be her. So I was really excited about what they picked for her. It took a couple of tries to get it on, but then she was in there like swimwear, and yeah, we had to sit in a lot of traffic to get back home. Friday morning, we had to kick things off straightening up my office because between the recording, content creation, my kids, etc., I had to just go ahead and make sure that things were just straightened up before I could do anything else. Today, I did need to make sure that I finished a couple of garments that I needed to, that I didn't have the opportunity to finish. I had some content to create, and so I wanted to start off with just a clean space after I took a shower. And then it was finally time for me to sew. Yay. I went shopping outside in my garage, aka my fabric stash, so that I could just go ahead and grab some things to make the garment that I wanted to make from scratch. And I also had to finish up the pair of jeans that I had started on Monday. I just needed to add the waistband, and then that was going to be done. Obviously, this process takes some time. Like choosing fabrics is probably the hardest thing for me. But once I decided on fabric, everything else came together nicely. And then today after school, after I picked them up, we did have a little birthday party that we went to before we went to go ahead and see my niece play basketball. She is the one who has the blonde hair, and she is a beast out on that court. So I was so excited to go out and see her play. And then after she played, we went out and had some dinner. It was nice to hang out with her mom and my friends. But yeah, and then my daughter went back with her. So she got to have a little big sister time. Next up was Saturday morning. Saturday morning, whenever I am in the process of teaching or coaching, I typically do that on Saturday mornings. So I was up early and I was finalizing presentations. I was working on emails, and it was like a working day for me. Period. So this was my prep work, and then I got into coaching. So happy to have my kids and my husband feed me, or else I would definitely forget to eat. But this coaching session went so well. This was day 2 of my social media for sewists, and it was fantastic. I love coaching. It is one of the things that makes me feel really, really good. And I love being able and being in a position where I'm able to help others. So yeah, this was great for me. It went about an hour over our allotted time because I just pour and pour and pour and pour and pour. Happy that I got some refills with my husband's kisses. But yeah, after that, I did go ahead and do a little bit of opening of like a box that had been delivered. And I was really geeked about what I got inside this box.
Why are you laughing at me? You're not gonna help me? What?
Shouldn't it show that you can get it in it myself?
Look, I feel like I'm a worm. It fits.
So I was really excited
Yeah.
about this. It's
So
an
make sure I
infrared
can
sauna wrap,
wiggle, wiggle.
and I got
Wiggle,
it
wiggle,
because it's really good with your lymphatic drainage. It's really
Okay.
good with detoxing your
Wiggle, wiggle.
body. I've been having a couple of my cysts from my hydrogenated supurativa come back, and I felt like this was going to be really game changing as far as giving my body some of the therapy that it needs. But this is the end of my first weekly vlog that I'm posting with you all. I hope that this is something that you all enjoy and want to see more of. Drop comments and let me know what parts of my life you want to see a little bit more of, or if there's anything else you want to see. So I'll see you next time.